think maybe we can use this opportunity to have a quick intro before we get into the thick of things. So I can see Ian and Jeremy, you guys are off mute, so maybe, well, on the video, so maybe if you guys want to go share a little bit about what you guys have been up to. I think Jeremy, you've been with us for a while, so it would be nice to try and understand what's going on recently for you, and we'll try and cover some of the latest features of the platform and try and help you guys with what you guys are looking for. So anybody who'd like to go off mute and share a little bit would be nice to hear.
Yeah, hi. I'd just like to come in and say briefly, I'm particularly interested just in the AI element of this. I have a separate business, which is a sort of IT consultancy that relates to deals with AI. So I'm interested to see how AI is operating in this environment. Particularly, I also have a property business that I use this for too. So the AI element is particularly of interest to me today. So that's where I'm coming from.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think happy to share some of the recent announcements we've made within PDI and how some of our customers are utilizing it for deal sourcing and generating their prospect list and everything like that. So yeah, thank you. I think you mentioned obviously you've got the other IT consultancy business, but maybe we can chat about it a little bit more later on. But in terms of the property investment side, are you mainly looking at deals for yourself, or are you sourcing stuff, or what kind of things are interesting, or do you also have an agency? Because we have people typically who have they wear multiple hats.
Yeah, so looking to source properties for myself and for the property company and for potentially for those deals that I don't really want to hand those deals over to others as well. So pass some of those on, yes, possibly.
Okay, and what kind of deals are these? Are they resi or like buy-to-lets, or what sort of deals are you guys mainly interested in?
Primarily residential at this point.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Anybody else who'd like to quickly share what they are, what they do, and what they're after? So I'll try and focus the session more towards what the audience is like, because we service quite a few different types of audience.
Hi, I'll say.
Hi, Olga.
Hi, how are you? How's everyone doing?
Thank you. Good, good, good.
All right, so yeah, my name is Olga, and I source rent-to-rent HMO, SA type of deals, and really intrigued with this platform, and I'd like to learn more. I source for myself and other people, other investors who are interested in this sort of deals.
Sure, thank you. So yeah, Olga has recently joined us, so we've been trying to get her up to speed. But yeah, it's nice to have her. Is this your first webinar, I believe? And
Yes,
yeah,
it's
I
first
think
one.
cool. So we'll try and cover some of the things which are which are relevant for you, and I'm assuming for others as well. I think rent to rent is one of your key strategies. Is that correct?
Sorry, correct. Yes, correct.
Yeah, cool, cool.
Yeah.
All right, nice one. Thank you. Anyone else who wants to quickly share what they would like to be seeing mostly in today's session?
Just from my point of view, I'm from Northern Ireland, so the challenge is finding someone who can find leads over here is a bit of a challenge than it is maybe in the UK.
So what kind of deals are you looking for in Northern Ireland?
Whatever makes money.
I like that answer. Cool. Yeah, I think if I'm not wrong, we did maybe discuss in the past, isn't it? So yeah, there are some bits and bobs which are on the platform, and also we as Property Deals Inside have been kind of progressing things quite a bit. In the recent times, a lot of our focus has been helping other larger businesses as well. So we've been powering not just our direct customers, but other large platforms, CRMs, etc., which are used by thousands and thousands of agents, which eventually behind the scene utilize our data, things like our prospecting data, our valuation reports, and other sourcing facilities. So we basically have the ability to, you have the ability to use the platform But if there are any bespoke sourcing needs, then we also do bespoke packages or sourcing for our clients as well, where effectively they utilize our the services. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit as well. Okay, looks like we might get started in terms of if anybody who can't go off mute, I know I'm conscious it's like an evening, people sometimes are traveling and all. If you guys want to quickly put that in the chat in terms of what is it that you do, whether you're a property investor, a sourcer, agent, a developer, whatever hat you wear, or even if you wear multiple hats, what kind of deals you typically look for, and what is it that you would like to see in today's session, then you can go off mute now if you want to. Otherwise, put that in the chat, and then I'll get cracking. So I think it would allow me to tailor the session with the audience we have, and accordingly we can basically focus the attention on some of the features which are more important to people. As of now, I've got AI, I've got rent to rent, I've got anything that makes money, and then I think Mark, we spoke a few days ago, or so yeah, I understand some of your needs in terms of what you're trying to do. Properties to flip from Colin, fair enough. Okay, while you guys chat in here, I'm gonna quickly load up my screen so we can share what we are up to, what all features are there in the platform which you can utilize. So I'll just quickly get my screen sorted while everybody else can share what they're after. Okay. All right. Anybody here who isn't registered on the platform, whether it's free or anything? So basically, just wanted to make sure if everybody has gotten access to the platform, or basically sometimes we end up having people on the webinar where they say actually who you are, where can I find a link to a company? So I just wanted to make sure we haven't got anybody who's sat in the webinar not knowing why they're here. Okay. Fine. I will put the link into the chat anyways for everybody. So I can see Saurabh's shared with regards to his property investment journey and looking at buy-to-let setup. And then Mark, yes, we spoke recently. So I will cover some of the aspects which are interesting to you. All right. I'll get started. Just by the way, this session is getting recorded. So hopefully that should be okay with everybody. Please don't share anything which you won't like other people to know, or any trade secrets. Hopefully there are none, but I just kind of wanted to make sure that you guys are familiar. So I am Nitin Aggarwal. I am the founder and CEO of Property Deals Insight. So you might have seen my face on some of the YouTube videos boring you guys with some stuff, but hopefully we can have some meaningful conversation here. I can share some useful stuff which can help you guys. I am sharing my other screen. Hopefully, yeah, I'm not ignoring any of you guys. I've just got two monitors, and I thought I'll open up the website alongside as well. So as Property Deals Insight, who a very, very quick intro. So we provide data and insights into the whole of UK market. So we have over 30 million UK homes data on our platform, and that includes on market, off market. Now we have a lot of commercial data as well, although that's not on the platform, but behind the scenes, we are actually servicing a large number of companies, asset managers who are institutional buyers of property or sourcing, helping them identify these assets. So in a nutshell, we do all the heavy lifting. We are connected to all the trusted data sources, the likes of Land Registry, Ministry of Housing. If I just quickly scroll down so I don't forget any of these, your Office of National Statistics, Ofcom, Ofsted, gov.uk, Valuation Agency Office, councils, portals and everything. So basically we crunch all the data, bring it together, and we're not doing any black magic here. So ultimately it's just kind of bringing together all the data, cleansing it, and using our own algorithms and AI. Even before it was called AI or it was such a buzzword, we've been leveraging it from behind the scenes to actually help us basically service our clients. What we do is once we sit on so much data, we've actually built a number of tools which are helpful for our clients, whether you're looking at investing in property, whether you're looking at sourcing deals, and whether you're actually looking at evaluating them. If I was to kind of ask quickly in terms of in the chat again, if you guys can put in what are your number one challenges? Is it finding the deals? Is it packaging some of these things, or due diligence? Or finding new clients or vendors, or what would be kind of the typical biggest pain points? If you can actually share, that would be useful for me to kind of try and tailor some of these things. As a company, we are basically helping and serving property investors, landlords for a very long time, and back from the time when it used to be my back pocket utility when I first started this as a property investor. I wanted something which can quickly find me deals which are not available or basically takes people ages to find, and then ultimately shared it with the local communities, and then basically we got now we're backed by one of the largest VCs in the space, and we're servicing around 1,800 agency branches across the country who are relying on our data, which basically helps them find the next vendors and next deals. So that's something which they are relying on, and more we're replacing some of the largest names in the country, and basically they're replacing us, and we are powering other systems behind the scene. So so I think that gives us the ability to give our customers access to some of the tools. And what we will do quickly is it's kind of a one-stop shop in a way. Sometimes our customers say, it's just so many things in it. Where do I start? Unfortunately, we're kind of guilty of our own success in terms of having so much powerful stuff in it. Sometimes can be confusing, but hopefully I can try and address some of those answers today. I can see people are looking at finding the deal is important for Colin, Ian, and Olga mentioned finding investors, which is also quite interesting. So, because you typically have both ends of the spectrum, right? Some people are looking for deals. Once they have the deal, then they're looking for, oh, now we need investors. So you have to have the, how do you kind of go about it in a way which means you can have a constant supply of deals, and then ultimately that would automatically bring you investors. So how do we do that? And I think within PDI, you've got both aspects. A lot of sources use us for identifying deals, packaging it, and then ultimately being able to share it with other investors as well. Okay, I think I will quickly jump to the actual platform. We will be talking about appraisals, and sometimes we run out of time. So if there are any things you see on the screen, appraisals end up always running out of time. But if that's important, then I will like to share, because we've recently added a lot of customizations, which means you can look really professional when you're actually sharing the deals with your clients. So that's something which can be quite handy for you creating valuation packs, etc. And then we're actually we also launched another financial institution product, which I think Jeremy, you mentioned about, like institutionals and IT side of things. So we're also leveraging the PDI data in the financial world. So some of the largest lenders or brokers, etc., are using our AI-powered portfolio insights tool, which isn't public, but it's basically made available on a case-by-case basis. So that's something which leverages internally some of the other capabilities which you guys can have access to through the platform, but that was specifically built for large institutional players or brokers. And then this one I think is key. Everybody loves it, identifying and accessing motivated vendors, which we will be talking about. How can you find people who are motivated? How can you find things which nobody else can find? And basically looking at heat maps and stuff. Some of these things are actually available in the platform. All right. I will quickly jump. So I am already logged into the platform. If you don't know how do I get there, you just simply go on at the top and click start for free. If you're not already registered, you can sign up for free. And then basically you can decide which plans. And yes, I think one important one is the pricing and packages. There have been a lot of changes on the packages. So if anybody has questions around what's the right package for me, I will try and cover that towards the end of the session as well. So I'm currently logged in as myself. I mean, within the platform, we try to push position things into pro offerings and investor offerings with the view that things which investors typically do, finding deals, looking for heat maps, etc., they are in there. You don't have to be an investor or an agent to be using one or the other. It's simply division by basically if you get the agent plans, you basically can use the agent features. So that's just simple how it works. If we maybe start with the investors, which is I think a large part of this audience seems to be so investors and sources. So what you can do is you've got a few different things here. Some of these I'll have to quickly skim through. So you have heat maps, which is basically as the name says, it helps you identify property hotspots. If you don't know which areas you should target, where can I make money, as Ian said earlier, how do you identify some of these? So then you can actually come in here and basically simply say which areas are doing the best. So these things are getting refreshed on a daily basis. And what you can see is almost like a leaderboard, the way I look at it, which can actually say, okay, fine, if you don't really care where you invest, but you simply want to say, where can I make the most money? This is a great way to kind of come in here and almost get a pulse for how the market is, which areas are actually doing well. I mean, you can see up north in Scotland, there's a lot more yield. You can actually filter these things as well. So you can actually say where it's between 2%, 4%, 6%, 8%. That gives you an idea of which areas are better for you to kind of look at rather than basically then. And once you've identified something, then you can obviously go jump straight away to the deal finder and stuff. But then if you don't know, then you can come in here and you can also filter by an area, etc. And you can sort some of these things to actually quickly identify. So if I was to maybe just jump straight from here, you can do this, by the way, to identify sale prices and rentals trends and where the growth is the maximum sort of thing. But I'm not going to bore you with all of this stuff. So that part of the platform is actually free. I've sent the link in the chat. You guys can play with it if you like. If what you can do is you can jump straight away from here to the deal finder. But let me just quickly, let's just select the first one. So what this does is it automatically takes me to the deal finder area, which is quite popular with most of our clients. What this does is it basically allows you to quickly understand which properties are available there. And this one, a lot of this stuff is on market stuff, although you can also have your own listings here. So if you wanted to actually, as I think was it Olga who mentioned finding investors, yeah. So you can also list these into the deal packs area, and they will also become available to other investors, and you can actually charge them sourcing fees, etc. I mean, we don't get involved into those transactions, but ultimately gives you an idea on if you wanted to make your deal available to others as well. So if you look at what you're seeing here, basically there are different strategies in Deal Finder. Think of it as AI filters, although we just didn't call it AI filters, but ultimately behind the scene, this is essentially that, where we've basically created, because we sit on millions and millions of listings, and rather than you going into a large portal, Rightmove, Zoopla, and everywhere, and then trying to go through every single listing, trying to do the maths on, is it going to be a good investment or not? We've basically done all the number crunching, all the analysis using our large, I mean, I don't want to bore people with the jargons, with large learning models and AI, etc., which basically allows us to quickly surface properties which match certain strategies. So if you're looking at most discounted properties, we call them biggest bargains. So you can actually look at that, and you can see some of these stocks are actually massively reduced. So what this does is gives you an indication of the net, like how likely somebody's willing to take your offer. So if you think about it, rather than somebody who's just come onto the market is on full price, you're trying to get to 10% below market value, 20% below kind of thing, you are quite unlikely to succeed. I mean, obviously you can get lucky, but when people are motivated, when they have been, I should say when they're demotivated by some of the agents who they are with, and they've been on the market for long, etc. These things are giving you an indication of, yeah, they came to the market, were shown the rosy picture by whichever agency they went with, but now they are struggling. So it's a great way to actually, I mean, a lot of our like professional investor clients or institutional clients, they ask us to identify these assets for them, and they basically utilize our tools put together in a fully automated way where these vendors are getting contacted directly. So if we actually pick one of these quickly, so whichever one random, let's just pick this one. So what this does is it basically gives you a quick cash flow analysis. So essentially a suitability for buy to let kind of thing. So it basically shows you whether this property can be suitable, and it basically does the number crunching for you. I think we all hate Excel sheets. I'm guessing most of people can possibly agree to that, and nobody likes to be spending their life getting or trying to stack the deal, and the last thing you want to do is while losing opportunities where people can move quickly. This is why a lot of people come to PDI, so you can actually get all of this analysis done. This automatically is populated or pre-populated with local rents and everything. However, this is a very useful tool for you to be able to stack deals and try and play different scenarios. I think somebody mentioned deal packaging somewhere. Yeah, Emmanuel mentioned that. So effectively, if you are sharing it with investors, it's basically giving you the analysis, and you can see things like stamp duties and interest rates, etc. So as I clicked on the higher rate stamp duty, so if it's an investment property, it's quite likely that it's a higher rate stamp duty. It automatically takes into account stamp duty rates and everything. In terms of mortgage, if it's an interest only or a repayment mortgage, this is recalculating all of your cash flow analysis on the fly. And obviously within there we look at the local interest rates and the averages, etc. But if you are getting better interest rates, or if it went down, how will this affect your cash flow? And if the interest rates increase massively, then how the ROI and yearly cash flow will change. So this is giving you a quick analysis of that. And it's also got things like property management, etc. So if you're self-managing, you can remove it. But if you're somebody who manages properties for your clients, you can actually add your own fee in here. So let's just say you're charging 10% from your client. So they can actually still see the analysis. This still looks pretty interesting. And you basically can share that with your clients. It will give you some local analysis, which basically gives an idea of what's happening in here. So one of the other interesting things, everybody's like, okay, fine, I see this deal, but then how do I get in touch with these people? That's generally typically one of the things. I mean, one option is we also show you the link to the portals if it's listed on the portal, so this can actually be taking you there. Obviously, a lot of our clients, they'd like to try and do things direct so that they can negotiate better with the vendors and everything. So you can actually, if you haven't already seen this, but you actually have this reveal full address button, which when you press will give you the full address of the property. So that means you can now either I mean, depending on how far away from your place or stuff is, whatever your strategy is, you can either door knock and stuff, or you can actually reach out to these vendors directly. And another thing is now we recently, it's not so as recent anymore, but we recently actually enhanced our reports and the ability to create deal packs from these. So let's just say this deal, if I was to actually share with the larger investor network, and I think somebody was asking, how do I get investors? So how do you entrust people basically who would be willing to take these deals, whether it's for JV or whether it's for actually finding other investors? So you can actually create these deal packs in a branded way as well. So you don't want to be sharing who's marketing this property. If you basically say, okay, I want to go direct and I want to basically see, can I get some interest from other parties, which means I can actually negotiate better with the vendor. So you can literally come in here and say, I want to create a personalized deal pack or personalized branded reports. So you can check this depending on whether you're on a branded package or not. So this would automatically add your branding. If you wanted to add a custom title and stuff, and you want to add your own custom description with some information on how much you're going to charge and everything like that. So that's something which you can add. And then you can generate a PDF for this, which basically automatically should add the branding information from your profile. My profile is used for a lot of demos and stuff, so hopefully it doesn't come out purpley and pink because sometimes we can add, I mean, what you can do is you can add white label colors and everything as part of that. So hopefully this isn't coming. Yeah, so there you go. So basically this is pick the settings for one of my clients, but what you can see is it's just generated the thing, and it's got the ability for customers to, if you are sharing it with anybody, they will be able to get in touch with you. There's also a QR code with that listing, and which people can actually click, and that directly takes you to the version you are looking at. And this is an instance, so it's like a snapshot of the listing. So remember, we were changing the figures. So all of the changes which we make, so for instance, I made a 10% management fee in here, and interest rates were increased, etc. So this can actually be creating as a snapshot. So you don't have to worry about what the figures originally were, although obviously they're always correct. However, if you wanted to give a best case, worst case scenario, or any of those things, this is quite useful. So people can actually generate these packs. I mean, I don't know if you guys have actually had to basically go for having some difficult investors or JV partners where they keep asking you, what if this happens, what if that happens, and then sometimes people spend forever or their life on actually creating these and stacking the numbers. But this is all automatic out of the box for you, so you can literally generate it. And if somebody is interested, they will basically click this button and then they can fill in their details, and this will directly come to you. So if I was using the platform, I love this deal. The way I think about it, I can actually share it on a WhatsApp channel or a Facebook group or even my own investor list. I can send this link, and then rather than me chasing people, somebody sees this is a great deal, ROI of 12% or gross yield of 16. That sounds very interesting, and that's a great way to actually capture investors' interest. So you can actually build a massive pipeline of people wanting to do business with you without even breaking the sweat. So this is actually quite useful in that way. Excuse me. Yeah, so I think that was just kind of a quick way of doing it. You can also generate, well, we already generated the PDF version of it, and you can change images and stuff. You can add your own colors. Sorry, losing my voice. And that's something which you can do, and it also gives you like a feel of this is coming from trusted data sources, because a lot of times people actually see things and they're like, okay, you've just made up these numbers, but this is kind of giving them an element of trust. So when you're actually approaching other partners, then they're kind of saying this information isn't just made up and it's actually coming from trusted data sources. Okay, so quickly going back, don't want to be spending far too much time on this. You can generate things like valuation reports and stuff, which I will open from other places as well. But if you wanted to say how much is the real market value of something, because people can list it for whatever they like. However, we want to know where the real market value is. So that's something which you can utilize this for. If I actually go back here where we found the results, so you kind of found 100 properties in this area, and it's basically showing you a number of them. So if I say show all 100 to me, and what you're actually seeing, this D2V flag, and some of you might already be aware. So this is like the direct to vendor flag. So although some of these properties are listed with agents, but if you were to actually say, I want to be getting in touch in front of these people, I want to be sending out, and this is an example of one of our clients who recently cracked a pretty tasty deal without going into too much detail of that. So what they did was simply found these deals on to Deal Finder, and then they basically clicked on this contact vendor button. So what you see in here is what this does is behind the scene, ultimately, it goes through all of these deals and extracts and basically brings out the full addresses of these properties automatically. So you don't have to go around pressing buttons all the time. And then you can simply either export these as Excel, or you can simply create or contact these people with one click. And you can also generate deal alerts. So a lot of times people are like, okay, and I think this is kind of one of our AI-backed features behind the scenes, where you can actually create alerts, which effectively uses AI to look at all of the properties within our system and looks at the matches, which are kind of matching your strategy, your criteria, etc. So you can use this to create deal alerts. And basically, if you just rename it here, and it's a pretty simple, well, biggest bargains in multiple. So effectively, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually give you guys a freebie here. You can actually have this as a quick way to create it on your side. So if I want to have a daily alert for this, what that means is you don't have to come in, look for these things. So this will now come directly into your inbox, whether you're on the move, on the looking and browsing, or on the phone and stuff. So you can actually create this, and it will go directly within your deal alerts area. So this is within your My Account area. You have AI deal alerts. So what on my profile, you'll see quite a lot of them. So what basically you find is you can have different strategies, whether it's the refurb, refinance, repossessions, planning approved ones. Short lease is another popular one. HMOs, somebody said they are interested in HMOs. So that's actually a great way to identify licensed HMOs, anything planning approved, and auctions and stuff. So that's all of them you can actually create here. So if I was to give this thing which we were looking at, and I'll just paste it in the chat, what that does is automatically takes you directly to the same screen which we are on. So effectively, whether you want to bookmark it or how you want to use it, that's something which you can actually do from here. So a lot of time people are saying we've got all these things, and when we do a demo with you, we understand it, but then we forget it, which is absolutely fine. But what you can do is you can select all the filters which you like, and we're also happy to help anybody. So either today or later on, if you guys want to say, actually, these are the filters which like to be set up on our profiles, and we can actually help you guys set up with those. So effectively, you don't have to be wasting a lot of time looking for these deals all the time, because everybody is busy and people are looking at more and more automation these days. And ultimately, that could mean this is straight away coming to you. And the other way to look at this is almost like your bookmarks as well. So if I come into the platform and I can straight away go to the deal alerts area, and all of those things are one click. So you can actually say these are my saved searches, you can call it. So that's something which you can do. I think I'll have to quickly get to the other parts of the webinar. Hopefully, I'm not boring people too much with these things. Sorry, my throat is a bit catchy. So yeah, so these are some of the strategies which people look for in terms of buy, refurb, refinance, auction deals, short lease, HMOs, and there are quite a few of them. And also another one important one, a lot of people like it, is if you found something, let's just say on a Rightmove or a Zoopla, you can simply paste the link in here, and it would automatically do the full analysis for you as well. So even if you just came across something, somebody said this is a great deal, buy it or not, you can literally just come in here, paste the link, and it would automatically give you the full analysis for that deal instantly. Okay, and if I quickly jump into motivated vendor area, so this is a real minefield. Basically, this is what we are really getting a lot of traction in the industry for. So we've basically recently replaced the number one and number two providers, data providers, in terms of market size at some major companies because of how powerful and how accurate our data is compared to anybody in the country. And good thing is for you guys, you are able to access that data directly from the motivated vendor area. So this is really powerful screen. Sometimes people don't get how powerful this is. So this can actually allow you to filter data on everything, whether that stock is on the market or off market. And a lot of people are always interested in off market stuff. So that's something which you can actually use this for as well. If we are to look for I don't know if anybody wants to give us any outcodes or postcodes, any areas they want to find vendors, which could be great opportunities for them, whether it's for rent to rent or for sales kind of things. So I can see Bradford. I can't remember. I should know about what's the Bradford's outcode? BD1. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Anybody else wants to give me anything? Okay. Well, while everybody's thinking, okay, I've got Collins come back with MK41. So what you can actually see is you can add multiple outcodes. A lot of companies in this sort of thing, what they try and do is they rip people off by charging you by the outcode or postcode, they call it, where they basically charge you about 50 pounds or something like that for each postcode. I mean, I personally really hate that, because you shouldn't be restricted where you can source deals, where you can go after. So ultimately, the whole point of coming to us is you should be able to access all of the stock, and that allows you to get in touch with these people, making you money in the process. And that's how we prefer it. So what I've done is on this screen, you can actually put in all the outcodes which are suitable for your search. And you can also add other things, like if you are trying to target a certain agent, a lot of our agent clients do that, where they think actually like the number one, number two, and all these guys, basically they say, actually, I want to win the stock from this agency. You can actually add their name here, and then it will filter it. But I'll leave that blank for now. And also you have the ability to add an address and stuff. So, okay, how do we use these filters? So this is actually quite powerful. So because it allows you to do both for sales and lettings. And you've got the ability to look for stock which has just come to the market, which is coming to end of single agency or that kind of contracts which people have with certain agents. And then you can also look at stock which has been on the market for a very long time, and other indicators which kind of give you an indication that this person might be willing to do a deal, whether they're reducing prices, where and this is like my favorite, and it's a kind of a worst kept secret, I would say. So all this off-market stock, basically, this is one of those things where you want to go after stock which where people were interested, but they couldn't do what they wanted to do. So this is like where you're actually not competing with anyone. You're actually going and saying, fine, you come in as a problem solver for them, and that's really, really useful. So for just now, if I was to quickly search here, I haven't added any of the other filters apart from the 12 weeks period. So that's basically given you 185 results. Which you can actually see. All of these listings are basically showing you full addresses. So this is not about you getting an agent's detail, although you do get agent's details as well. So you can actually get in touch with them, because some of our clients who do this in bulk, they also like to create relationships with agents. So that's a good way to actually get access to other of the other deals as well. But what this is now showing you is all of the properties which are available, and what's happening with them, what is the latest status of these listings, etc. So because we selected, like 12 weeks, so it's basically showing you properties which are kind of on the market for a bit, either have been done 12 weeks or basically a little bit longer. But if I actually use the same filters to look for price reductions and fail to sell stock, so this is like a great way of thinking in terms of, and this is used quite a lot by professional agents and sourcing companies to get access to stock, which basically they are able to give quick sale sort of offers or cash offers, which basically mean they can possibly get better price and they can negotiate better. So what we've selected is a reduction and fail to sell stock. So you can't find these properties on portals. So if you were to go on a portals, you won't find it. Nobody else can find it, but we would know because you've got PDI, so you can actually access some of these properties, or all of these properties which are available, and these are sometimes really, really high converting ones. So you can see there are about 635 results. And for those who normally say there's always 100 it gives, you can actually just load more. So you can basically load all of the records if you wanted to. But we just, we want to keep the credits to the minimum, but then also there's so much data which we hold, you don't necessarily want to see everything in one go. But this allows you to see all of the stock. And if you now wanted to actually start filtering on any area, so you can use this filter area as well. So for instance, if I was actually looking at MK40 or whatever, then this is actually showing me live filtering, and that's a great way for you to actually decide I want to go after this stock or not, and you can sort and some of these things. What our professional clients do in terms of how they get in touch with these people, they use well, obviously you can actually export it if you wanted to, but what they use is they basically use our direct mailing, automated direct mailing platform, which basically, as a result of you being a PDI customer, you can actually simply click on this button, and just by clicking one button, you're actually sent. So what this does is, behind the scenes, it takes all of the addresses for these properties and starts to construct professional letters on your behalf. So when people are receiving, so if you might have received letters like, oh, we are valuing in your area kind of thing, so agents send it like in a blind way. That's kind of called canvassing. However, now more and more people are wanting to do a bit more precise. So you don't want to be doing this scattergun approach. You want to be precise how I can actually get in touch with these people. So what this has done is we automatically sent these letters into our AI letter sending system, which basically would, because you're coming from the platform, it automatically knows who I am, what my company name is, and the other stuff. And it's also got a lead magnet, which is a really powerful tool. And a lot of times it hurts me that people don't leverage it enough, because this is an absolute single biggest revenue generator for our clients, and it's the biggest conversion factor for our clients. And if you don't know what the lead magnet is, please ping in the chat so I can actually quickly show how you can actually get one for yourself. But you can actually change colors. I mean, in this case, I already have my color set. If you wanted to your letters to look whatever color, then you can actually do in here. And what this does is it gives you a few letter templates, which you can pick any of the designs. And if you don't know what to write, obviously, I think Jeremy mentioned AI. I mean, these days, everybody is familiar with ChatGPT. We don't have to tell how AI works, as you can actually say, I want to be sending a professional looking letter to them and so and so. So that's something which you can do. But we already have some pre-existing high performing templates, whether you're looking at free valuation, whether you want to give a cash offer to the motivated vendor, whether you want to look for a rent to rent, we would like to offer you a stress-free solution for your property, that sort of thing, or whether you're looking at just like a good luck, which kind of creates a rapport with the client. So there are some, but you can also write your own letters. So this basically simply brings you here. And what this has now done with the few clicks is it's taken 635 addresses, prospects, which you identified through the motivated vendor area, and have now created 635 letters on your behalf with your branding, with dynamically adding addresses and everything within it, so they basically feel it's a personalized letter. And you've got this QR code which is received by these people, and when they are reading these letters in the middle of night, when they're coming back from working, stuff like that, they're not going to call you because you're going to be off and stuff, so they can simply scan this QR code. And if you guys are looking on the screen, you can scan this QR code if you want, and that's how your thing will work when you've set it up for yourself. And this should take them to the lead magnet for in this case for me, basically, on the client which we set it up as. But ultimately what happens is it does that for you. So ultimately, a lot of people, you also get an instant alert, so you now know who's actually interested in what you shared, and you can modify these letters in any way if you wanted to. If you want to add a get your cash offer, whatever, get your cash offer now, so that sort of thing you can actually add in here, or whatever wordings which you feel is suitable for your solution. And you can change some of these things here. You can customize these letters and go next, and basically as soon as you come here, you can save the campaign, and that's it. And essentially, the moment you click the payment, it would automatically generate all those beautifully drafted letters on your behalf, and they get delivered without you moving a muscle. So you literally press a few next things if you wanted to really quickly do it. And that basically gets delivered on your behalf. And rather than you then chasing people who want to be doing stuff with you, you're now starting to get incoming interest. And this is the single biggest revenue generator for estate agents. Why? They've created millions and millions of pounds in revenue on a well, basically for decades and decades, is because some of these things used to be only available for professional agencies, but now with platforms like us, you can literally just get access to this stuff in a much more sophisticated manner. And what agents do isn't anywhere close to some of this stuff, because they're still doing, a lot of them are still doing old school canvassing, and instead you're actually now doing more pinpoint razor sharp canvassing, which basically means you can actually send the letters on your behalf, and then vendors are getting it, and your brand is going out there. People are getting more and more understanding of who you might be a small agent or a big brand. I don't understand, obviously, even if you're getting started, as in the case of I think Rahul mentioned, who sends a letter, are you using some Service Connect? Yeah, so basically all of that is done behind the scenes. So we get it delivered. We have our own fulfillment partners. So behind the scenes, PDI, direct mail is connected to a number of companies, which eventually utilizes things like Royal Mail or whatever. So effectively, there's nothing from a client's perspective to be done. All you're doing is pressing that submit button and wait for the magic to happen. So ultimately, the letters get delivered on in a professional manner on your behalf. Okay, just going back to some of the things which you want to go. So, and then also, if you were to look at expanding your business in a certain area, you can actually use the whole of market search and stuff, which basically means you can find properties anywhere, whether you're looking at a certain size of the property. And this is every single house, whether it's on the market or not. This is like giving you access to stock. Sometimes people have very hard to find kind of requirements, or you're sourcing for a client who just has a very, very peculiar requirements. This is a really useful feature where you can actually put in whatever you're looking for. So I just selected MK14, whether you're looking for a certain type of property, when was the property last sold. So these are the kind of indicators people use. Whether you're I mean, this is used by a number of different types of people, whether they are property investors or even we've had companies like accountancies and all of these people who are trying to target a certain type of audience in a certain area. So that's something which you can do. You can use these filters in a way, whether you're trying to target people who have got rundown properties or things needing EPC improvements and stuff like that. So you can actually all do that. Or if you're actually looking to do a development project or looking to identify properties which can be split into flats and stuff. So again, some of our clients use it in that way, where you can look for a certain number of bedrooms which exist, so that you can think of altering some of those things. So that's something which this tool allows you to do. But yeah, I mean, I think there are a number of ways how you can actually crunch the data from PDI system, and that allows you to do that. If I quickly go back, and I think somebody had asked for deal packs. If I quickly go in here, within the system, if you click on deal packs in here, you are able to create different deal packs, whether you're basically looking at sale listings, which can be shared with other PDI customers, or you're actually looking to share it with your own private investor lists. That's something which you can do as well when you create these listings. You can also create R2R deal packs and analysis, whether it's for service accommodation or HMO, so you can actually do that. And if you're looking at the development appraisals or GDV plans for a larger commercial and unit with resi, etc., that is something which you can actually do and create. I'm not going to spend for the last few minutes on trying to do it, but feel free to actually create that. What I will quickly do is they will show in your system. So effectively, if I'm in here, I can actually click in here, and this is like one of the development appraisal packs. So if you are to try and create a development appraisal, which you can actually have multiple units within it, so multi-unit sort of investments if you're looking to do it. And you can also add all the build cost, professional cost, design, professional, all the stuff which basically you need to be able to share with a lender or raise investment from a other investors. So you can actually do that. Again, you can create them as branded packs and share them as links as well. Okay, somebody was asking, do you pay for the letters? Yes, please. There is, unfortunately, you do have to pay for letters. So if you are sending letters, so however many letters you want to send, you basically send those letters. But our charges are quite reasonable. In some cases, they're even cheaper than the actual second-class stamp, which is applied on them, because we have bulk deals. It depends on volumes. So however many letters you're sending, it just basically depends on that. So it's roughly around £1, or if you're sending only a couple of letters, then it's slightly more than £1. But if you're sending higher volumes, then it can even go as low as 50p or something. So that's quite lower. And I think I believe the current second-class stamp rate is about 89p or something. So there is a massive saving just for bringing your letter sending stuff to us as well. So if that's something that you are looking at. Okay, I think this is like one of the recent features which has undergone a massive change and allows you to generate really powerful, like a due diligence pack, which is the appraisal report. So if you're actually looking at evaluating any property, and that means any property, whether it's for sales or for rentals, you can actually come in here and do it. Actually, I'll just open up. So within this page, I'm gonna quickly share it as well with you guys, is essentially you can actually you can get all of these information, which basically is showing, and I'm going to try and create one as well. But you can actually see there are some samples here, which is like the interactive version and the PDF version. So very similar to what I showed in the other reports. You can create the branded reports for your clients. So if you're doing a full-blown analysis on a certain property, how much that property is worth, all of that you can actually generate. I might as well quickly just do it as well, just to give you an idea on what all you can actually do. So quickly picking up the postcodes I remember. If I select whatever, this one. So what you just notice here is a lot of times people don't even know the internal area of the properties. So this is for any property, by the way. This is not related to anything which is on the market. So this you can do for the entire 30 million properties in the entire UK. So you can generate these reports for every property. So you can select that thing. We've already got the internal areas of the properties all over the UK. As I said, we're connected to everything. So we have the internal areas from government systems. And you can select what type of property it is, how many bedrooms there are in that property, how many bathrooms does it have, reception rooms and stuff. Also, the other thing is a lot of time people are very quick to just press the next button. We try and kind of say this is almost like, look at this as almost like a assisted valuation. So if you know a little bit more about the property, you can actually say, yeah, when was the property built? Does it come with a parking space or not? All these things which can actually differ that property from the neighboring other properties. Why is this one worth 650 and that one is 625? Or if it's in a rundown condition. So a lot of time people use it in before and after kind of valuation as well. So if you want to look at, I am buying this property which is run down, how much is it going to be worth, versus when I do it up and I add 10 square meter to it, I add a separate bathroom, etc., etc. So you can actually add those things in here, which will give you an idea on what that price would be after and before and after. And you can add things like, is it got a huge garden or is it got a small garden compared to the neighbors kind of thing. So you then run it, and behind the scene, this is utilizing our complicated algorithms and stuff, which basically allows you to get that instant analysis. So now this is basically quickly done the analysis for that property on the fly, and you can see what the valuation it is. It gives you a low to high range as well. It also gives you the rental valuation for that property. It gives you things like what the UPRN information is. A lot of people don't even know what that means. It's unique property reference numbers, but that's kind of becoming very important these days. And you're actually also getting the price per meter square, which is our proprietary valuation methodology, is used by a large number of client base now. And we've basically also connected to land registry, house price, sold prices and information, etc. So this is actually telling when it was sold, what is the price change, and it also gives you a valuation confidence indicator, what is on the market. So you don't want to be having to be running around looking for comps and stuff. So this is all coming to you. So you can actually see all the comparables for the properties which are currently on the market. Also, same thing for rentals. So you can actually see the rental analysis as well. And you can also see the sale prices. So this is basically showing you land registry information combined with Ministry of Housing information to give you the factual prices of what the properties have been selling for, what's the price per meter square for those properties selling. So you can then compare why a certain property is more expensive or the other kind of thing. Sometimes people just see there's a property which got sold by Foxtons or whatever on the street for this much. So that means my property should be also worth the same. So it depends on whether you have a bigger or a smaller property compared to that. So sometimes you can find it hard to get them to agree to a more price, which is an appropriate price, because people don't know. But this is used really, really powerfully by our clients to actually negotiate the pricing down, because or up, depending on which side you want to be sitting on the fence of. So this is really powerful, and it's used by surveyors and stuff as well. And you can also see things like EPC, current rating potential, and obviously with the recent changes in the regulations. So this is quite important for you to decide, if you're looking at buy to lets, whether or not the property can be brought to the recent standards. And again, you have the cash flow analysis, which we saw earlier. Somebody had asked flips. I think we're going to run out of time, but this is also really powerful for you to do the flip analysis. And you can come in here, actually get the before and after pricing, and then basically get an idea on what kind of ROI you can get. You can fill in things like finance fees and bridging loans, etc., etc. So that's quite critical information. And what you can do is you can actually generate these reports in a customized way now. So this is a very, very recent change. So instead of you now instead of in the past, you were only just seeing the map thing and our logos and stuff in the reports, you can actually now come in here and say, I want to be generating this report, and you can uncheck some of these if you are showing it to a vendor or if it's a sales only analysis, etc. But I'm going to leave that on for now. And you can add your own custom image if you wanted to for the property. But if you don't have that image, you can simply use the street view or a map view, effectively however you would like to. So to generate a report which looks a bit more personalized for people. So you can actually do that. Just basically fiddling it around to show that. And when you generate this report, it will automatically have that as a cover image. So you're basically able to add a cover image to the properties, which has been it might sound like a simple feature, but I think it has a big impact. And it's just generated the report, which I'm literally just checking it into the chat. So that kind of gives you an idea on how the report gets generated in there. So there you go. So basically it's just got generated. So got an extra large monitor, so it looks a bit funny, but yeah, this just automatically gets generated, and you can share it with anybody. You can open it on all devices and stuff. So if you're sharing it with any clients and things, so you can actually generate this whole report, and you can also add your own branding. So in this case, it's got my client's branding, which is what my profile is set up currently as, and it's got no PDI reference or anywhere, which is a great way for actually you to be generating these reports and sharing with your clients without revealing your trade secrets. Okay, I think conscious of time, I just wanted to basically quickly get a sense check on what all we were looking to cover and what not. Hopefully, I have covered some of the questions which were originally raised, but I mean, one of the things I did want to cover is understanding how the credits work and which package to choose, etc. Because sometimes people are confused. Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that sort of thing? So there's a couple of different plans, which is investor plans and agent plans. The reason we have that is because agent plans were created for estate agents and professional sources kind of thing, but we didn't want it to be a case of only estate agents can access it. But if you want to access some of the features like sourcing things in bulk, direct to vendor, the things which agents do, creating lead magnets and things, so that is something which you can actually get access to via using the agent plans. and the lead magnet, so you get access to the agent plans, which allows you to generate property reports, valuation reports, and you can run as a large number of appraisals throughout the country, basically whichever property you're evaluating. You can create lead magnets, which is quite powerful, and I think I'd maybe like to show that for one of our clients who came to this webinar a couple of months ago now, and he basically said, I love whatever you're saying, can you just get it all done for us? So our team actually started them from scratch, and I think we even created a website for them, and basically added the lead magnet, and they managed to secure quite a few deals. If I just give their reference for their company, actually, so this is a website. I'm also going to maybe leave that link in your chat as well for your reference. So Jeremy, basically, from Inglia Solutions, they absolutely loved what we were doing, and they essentially wanted us to help them out with the website. They didn't have any presence, so our team did everything for them and created the website for them. But then what you can see in here is it's actually got the lead magnet embedded in here. So when they're using our system to reach out to people in bulk, so for instance, when we were looking at off-market or motivated vendor area, so then they do letter sending, and those QR codes link it back directly here, which basically means those customers are coming in here, getting a free access or to the evaluation for that property. But as a result, Jeremy's team is actually getting instant alerts for these valuations, and then basically the client is also getting a branded lead magnet email from them, essentially, so that sits in their inbox, and that kind of helps them build a pipeline and start securing deals. And this is just PDI powered thing, but then sat on your own website, it doesn't it makes it feel like it's part of the same website. So it's a really useful feature, and a large number of customers you can customize it and to make it look how your kind of what messaging you want to show, whether it's a rental valuation, whether it's how much guaranteed rent can I offer, kind of thing. So a lot of our clients use it in different ways. And somebody, I think, Holger, you might be looking at rent to rents and stuff, so you should be looking at customizing this with how your customers might be looking at from a rent to rent perspective. If you're looking at sales, then you can use it in that way. So there are a number of ways how people leverage it, and this all comes part of the bundled plans. Within the agent plans, you get access to all of the investor features plus the appraisal reports, lead magnets, and then if you're looking at off market and the motivated vendors, those features start from the gold plan. And there's been a major discounted offer which has been running for a while, actually a bit too long, I would say, but that's gives you 50% off on annual plans. So if you go monthly, these plans are a little bit pricey, but if you actually commit to an annual billing, you literally knock off over 50% of the actual pricing. So that's something which is quite useful. Olga, we'll let you know in terms of how you can actually get that lead magnet onto your website, but it's pretty simple. From in here, you can actually come in, get a lead magnet created. So it's a simple thing. You just fill in the details and it automatically creates your lead magnet. You can change the colors and everything. And if you need any help, you've also got these links to showing you step by step on how to do it. If you're confused, you can ask our team. And then you can simply, it's literally a 2-minute job. Actually, you can simply say add to website, come here, copy that, paste it onto your website, boom, it's there on your website. So a number of our clients use it, and they have it on their website. So it's something which we can easily help you with. All right. Just wanted to, I know we're a little bit over, but I wanted to give you guys a time to ask any questions in terms of anything which you would like to discuss further or want to help us to help, whether it's now or we can actually follow it up in a further chat. But if anybody's got any questions in terms of either the pricing or any other features, things they don't understand or anything, I mean, just giving an opportunity to say whatever you might want to ask or share. Everyone's free to go off mute now if you guys wanted to. Oh, someone's turned up just now. So yeah, if you guys want to maybe ask any question. Yeah, investor packs are basically all the reports which we talked about. So you can create them as investor packs essentially from within the deal packs area. I think you may have missed it, but so ultimately that allows you to create the deal packs from here, and then you can share it with your clients. I've got some on my system. So basically, I've created all these R2R deal packs, which can be shared with anybody. So you can actually edit them with different price points, etc. Similarly, I've got loads of sales ones, which can actually be also found in the deal finder. So if I wanted to make some of my deals, which I have, available to other clients within PDI, you can actually make it public, which will mean it shows up in the deal finder area. And in terms of development listings, again, similar thing, you can do this. Question around limits. It's just cost you 1 credit really to list it, so there's no limit in terms of you're just limited by the credits. I mean, quite honestly, you'd be creating hundreds of them before you run out of your credits. So yeah, I don't think that should be a problem. Yeah. All right. Any questions from anybody? Anything which people found useful or not so useful? I'm happy to kind of open to both, really. Also, I think somebody had asked around commercial stuff. I think it was Ian, who had to drop. But anyways, I'll then cover that with him. But we also have, if anybody is interested to power their own system, so we have a large number of clients who are actually building their own proposals and their own platforms. So we basically provide our APIs, and some people may not be technical, but I just thought I'll give float it here. So there are a number of APIs which we provide access to, which can be plugged into any of their systems if you wanted to actually power your own solutions or even bespoke solutions. So that's something which we help with as well, as we're doing with the large number of clients. And it's all fully powered by us, but it's your platform in that case. And there are some APIs, but I won't bore or scare you guys with this, but it's something which we are happy to chat about if that's something of interest to you. Thanks, Olga, and thanks, Emanuela. Yeah, guys, thanks for joining. Last chance, anyone wants to ask anything, otherwise I'd say thanks a lot for giving me your 1 hour and a bit on Wednesday evening.
Sorry, Nathan.
Yep, go on.
Sorry, just one. When you were looking at how to find the asking prices in an area for sales, but for the rental part, like finding the rents in the area.
Sure.
I went on there, put in an out code, but then when you filter by out code, it comes up as a sale price instead of a rental price in the area.
Well, I don't know which one you're referring, but you can actually generate this report, which is both for sales and rentals. So if you want to specifically look at a specific property, so how much the property's rent will be, you can actually generate the appraisal report, and this got both sales and rental.
Report.
So this is the full-blown version of it. So if you're just doing a surface level, I want to know what are the going rates in a certain area, then you can simply go to heat maps and say, I just want to say at a very high level, what are the average rents in a certain area? This is kind of gives you a bit of a high level view of what are the typical 1-bed, 2-bed, 3-bed rates.
Right.
And I think for anybody who's looking at rent to rent and those kind of things, you can actually look at house shares and other rents as well here. But when it gets to specifics around, okay, I now like this property, what exactly is the rent for this property? Then you go the full report, which gives you full access and everything.
Gotcha.
And that's like a really powerful one, but you may not want to be creating reports for every single property until you're serious about it. So that's kind of how it's like, almost like layers of onion in a way. So just quickly looking at the questions in one side, basic whole thing. Okay, yeah, so pricing, I know it can be confusing, and that's why I wanted to cover. So Rahul, if you're still there, yeah. So basically, there are investor plans which are suitable if you're looking for properties for yourself. So if you're looking for properties for yourself, these are good enough for you. But a large number of our clients, they come and they want to also use some of the more advanced features where you're actually trying to source it, create deal packs, and create lead magnets. Because the whole point of that is these are business plans which allows other businesses or even one-man bands, etc., to act like a business. So they basically can, rather than having to spend for a lot of money on other things, they can just get a PDI agent plan, which allows you to access to other things. So this is where within agent plans you can have basic, gold, premium. So that's what you're actually looking at in terms of the pricing. It just depends on which features are interested to you. If you're looking at just Deal Finder, then those things are in here. Sorry, did you want to say something?
Yeah, what can you do? Your Metro.
I think it's okay. So Rahul, did you want to say something? I don't know whether you're about to say something. Okay. Anyways, Patricia, you're off mute. Anything you would like to add? Nope. Okay. Well, actually, it looks like Patricia's logged into two things. So API costs really vary. I think I'm happy to kind of address that question if you want to ping us offline. There are some pricing, but they won't really necessarily tell you much because it all depends on which APIs, how many data points it are required, etc. So I will still share the link to the developer documentation and also the API lists which are available for people to see. So you can actually look at that. But happy to kind of take that one offline in terms of which APIs you're after. If you tell us what APIs you're interested in, then we can actually cover that properly. I'm gonna leave my details in the chat, and for anybody who's actually interested to get in touch, they can ping us at this details.